Hey everybody, this is Tyler Dockery, and I hope today is treating you well. I want to talk with you about where we are moving on into the course. Right now, most of you have already had your first client meeting, and the rest of you are hoping to do so shortly. So, coming out of that meeting, I'm starting to get a lot of questions about how everybody should be approaching this. So, I just want to bring it all together real quick. First of all, coming out of your group meetings and coming out of your client meetings, what are the roles that you have established and what are the roles that you personally have? For instance, you've got the AE, the account executive. Their job is going to be taking the ideas of the group and relaying it to the customer, getting the customer feedback, and having that back and forth. You've got the art director, and the art director is going to make sure that everybody's designs look and feel the same. They're going to give you feedback on how to change your work and how to make sure that it all comes together. And if you need to, you can discuss things and try to decide what's going to be the best way to make it happen. The production manager, their job is to gather all the files and make sure that that is available for everyone. So if you're using a specific font for your client, everybody has to be able to get it, and the art director's job is to do that. So they might find out who has it and upload it into the files area of your specific team. The files area is right at the top. There's one for each and every team, and only your team has access to it. So go ahead and use those. It's a great way to keep things together. If there's a finalized logo, you definitely want the AI, EPS, and PDF version of it up there. If you're going to use that for the web, then you're going to want to have the PNG or the JPEG version of it up there. Make sure that as the production manager, you guys agree that a project is done or finished, it is collected, and the production manager has hands on it so that if you need a piece of it for something else, it can easily be pulled. And of course, you've got the record keeper, and the record keeper's job is to make sure to get all that info. How many hours are you taking to do this work? If you find that someone is working an insane amount of hours, but they're not getting as much done as they need to, you need to put another designer on that job. You are all designers. Nobody does nothing. Everybody has a job to do. So once you've sat down with your client and the client has given you 4 things or so that you are going to work with, who is going to do each one? Whoever is on, let's say, the logo needs to go and design those logos and then present it to the art director, and the art director needs to present it to the group and get the feedback, make sure that everybody has bought in. Once the logo is finished, it moves over to the production manager who can give it to everybody. Everybody who needs to use it now has a consistent place for it. Work through this material. If you are put on the website, that's going to be a really big job for you to do, and I know that you can do it. Start pushing through. If you need people to make graphics, this is something that you have to work out in these meetings. If you're making things for social media, if there's somebody in the group that really knows how to do that stuff, make sure that they're on it. But the important thing is that everyone comes together and everything makes one cohesive brand together. If 3 of you show up with the logo to the meeting with the client and a 4th one comes in later and says they have their own idea and presents their own work, that's a big problem. Everybody needs to be working together. Everybody needs to stay in communication. So just a reminder, you've been asked to check your email twice each day so that you know if you get an email from me or from the client or from one of your team members, you have plenty of time to work on that. I suggest once in the morning and then once in the afternoon so that you can have the evening to make changes. You also need to make sure that, like any class for the summer, you are spending 4 to 5 hours each day on this class. Some of the things in this class, such as the LinkedIn learning that you need to complete for next week, hasn't started yet. but you'll need to do that in addition to your client work. We will have tests and things, so be aware. Your group should have somewhere close to 20 hours a week, every single week, for the client work. Over the 4 weeks that this is happening, that means that you should have roughly 80 hours worth of design time to throw into this project if everybody is doing their part. And you may go above and beyond that. But everybody pull your weight. Don't get fired or kicked out of the group. Do your projects. It's very important that you are working within your hierarchy. Make sure that you know what you can bring to the table and what your role is. Don't forget that everybody is a designer, but you will be assigned a job to do. If everybody is doing the same job, that means 3 things are getting left behind. And while you might want to work on a slightly different project, just remember, if you miss your deadline because you're doing a project that is assigned to someone else, that will not be greeted with joy. So keep track of your hours, make sure you're doing your job, ask for help if you need it, and stay in constant communication with your group. And it is okay to contact me too. I'm here at any time. All right, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing your work. So does your client.